We're going live in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're on. Hi, hello everybody. So you're welcome to the very first episode of Vibes and Music Podcasts. My name is Kelechi Odunsanya, and here with me is
Diva
Deborah Obo.
I love
Yes,
you blowing,
aka Diva
Okay,
Debbie.
yes.
We are going to be talking about music generally, and our starting point is going to be classical music in Nigeria and how it relates to other genres of music, including Afrobeat, blues, local Fuji music, and
Reggae,
all reggae,
our
everything.
normal African music, our normal traditional African music as well.
Yes, and we're also going to be talking about music education, music literacy. Do people really know the ABCs of music, or do we just do things on vibes?
Yes.
Well, let's tune in and subscribe to this podcast so that you can learn more. Once again, Kelechi Odunsanya and Diva Debbie. This is a Vibes and Music podcast,
Brought to you by Bellaria Musicals.
your go-to podcast for music literacy and music awareness in Nigeria.
Are you ready?
So first of all, let's introduce ourselves. Debbie, can you tell us?
It's getting interesting. I am Diva Debbie. I am a singer. I'm studying music at the Music Society of Nigeria, Muson. I'm also a music performer, a music enthusiast, an educator. Everything music, man. I love music so much. My love was music was fueled by this other amazing lady on this podcast. So tell us about yourself, Kelechi.
Okay, I am Kelechi Odunsanya. I am also a music lover. I'm a 9 to 5er, unfortunately. So
It's the actual 9-5, not these days 7-8.
unfortunately, I don't have as much time to pursue music education the way Debbie is doing it. But I also have been able to take a course in music. I've been able to get a certificate in as also at the Muson. What's the name of that? Music Society of Nigeria. I have been singing for as long as I can remember.
Yes, you're also a vocal performer.
I'm also a vocal performer in quotes. So that's basically about me. We're going to talk more in depth about each other. But first of all, let's talk about how we met. Debbie, how did we meet?
We went to University of Benin, Uniben,
Yeah.
and we're in school choir.
So we were walking home together after one fateful rehearsal. I think I joined the choir earlier, and then did we join at around the same time?
I joined after the next semester.
Okay.
The same year.
Okay, we walked home, we became friends. From friendship, we became neighbors. From neighbors, our neighborship became roommateship.
Oh yes, I was always in a room and she was always...
I was always in hers. I think we'll sleep in one room, cook in the other room. And for a very long time now, I think 7 years now, we've been talking about starting something together in music.
Yes, we've been talking about
We've even named our music business Bellaria.
Bellaria was named in like 2017.
Yeah, 2016-17. In fact, anytime I speak with my dad, he's always asking me, what about that your friend? How is Bellaria?
Yeah, so this
I will just be telling him it's on hold, nothing for now. But finally, we are doing it.
Yeah, we're here and we're starting something. Please support us. Oh, please
Listen,
let our dream not die. Oh, share, listen, everything. I beg.
So we're going to talk about individual music journeys.
Okay, so I started singing in church choir at like age 12, 11. I can't remember the exact age. My mom joined choir first. She was like, oh, I should follow her. And that's how it started. I just followed her. And then my choir master, then Brother John Otu, he shared score for me. And that's how I went back the next day and I was enjoying it. And then I moved to St. Albert's choir. And then I had choir master John Izomo. John Izomo was like is such a great inspiration to me. The way his idea towards music was so, so good. He was a fast person. Like once you have to, he gives you your music, you have to learn it fast. No spoon feeding, no child play, and it puts me like on my toes. Like I was always so excited to learn the new song. I was always excited to be part of the people they selected to sing a concert or something. And after St. Albert's Choir, I went back home just before NYSC. The Catholic Church, my church, organized. There was a music school from my church, Sicilian Academy of Sacred Music, which is led by Father Michael. Thankfully, I learned a whole lot from that system foundation. Basically, I learned good foundation that made me proceed towards Musical Society of Nigeria Muson to learn diploma, because before you enter Muson you need to have some good foundation, and I got some good foundation, especially in theory, from that music school.
So for those people that would want to enter Muson in the future, what are the requirements?
So if you want to enter Muson, you need a grade 5 in music theory, and you also need a grade 5 in your practical study, after which you will have to apply and you'll be invited for a live audition.
Okay, so how do they go about the grade 5 thing?
So you need to study and learn this thing. Like you need a teacher to put you through. So Kelechi, tell us about your musical journey.
My music journey started with Vox Angelica Choir of Our Lady of Assumption Catholic Church, Okiowa. That's in Ijebu-Ode. It starts with my sister being in the choir, and then one Sunday, the priest came on the altar and recruited people for the choir. He was talking about how would you leave the choir of the church to small children. So I'm calling on adults now to come out and join the choir. And then my dad joined.
Interesting.
My dad joined the choir, and when I say he became obsessed with music generally. He became obsessed with tonic soffers. He became obsessed with music of the church, musical era, Baroque music, Renaissance. He became obsessed with Palestrina. The choir became his life, and then we, the children, we also joined the choir. Not necessarily because of him, but we also enjoyed the singing and music. But my dad's passion, I think it's also fueled our own passion. So Vox Angelica Choir formed a huge part of my development as a child growing up. So I picked music very fast. I don't even know how I learned to read softwares, but it was like so easy. I picked it like this, and I started to become one of the people in charge of teaching others. So that I learned how to teach, I learned how to organize people, I learned how to do projects. I even was in charge of building a cupboard and creating a system for our musical files, for our scripts. I learned a whole lot in Vox Angelica Choir. It was the formation, the basics for me. I learned how to sing in front of a crowd, responsorial psalms for those who know the Catholic Church. And then in secondary school, when I became a senior, SS3, SS2, SS3, I became the choir prefect.
Interesting.
And at a point, the church also sent a few of us to learn music instruments. And so I started learning how to play the piano with Ogunye School of Music, Smallwood. I was actually doing very well, but somehow it did not continue. I tried to continue learning with another music teacher that my family invited. So that's how my brother learns. The younger sister was learning also, but he was more of a down. Exactly. So I learned that part too a little, but it's been so long since I played the piano.
Nice.
So that one is there. Maybe one day I'll still go back to the piano. What else? So after secondary school, after all that, I went to Uniben and I joined St. Albert Choir. I did before school even resumed. I've already joined the choir.
Wow, and
I
it took
already
you a whole
joined the
semester.
choir.
Wow. You see what I said? Her own love for music past my own.
So that's where I met Debbie. That's where I met some other people that's really changed my view about how to sing, about my voice, and
People
all
like
that.
who?
People like Wema, Osayame. Yeah, shout out to them. So after St. Albert, I think I was a part leader, assistant part leader in my final year. After St. Albert's, I did my service. Of course, I joined the choir there. I went back to Ijebu-Ode, back to Vox Angelica. And then I moved to Lagos. I joined a very special music choral group, Elite Vocals. I sang a solo in, I think, their second ever concerts. Not just one. I sang a duet and I sang a solo choir. See her that she has sang millions of, that's why she didn't mention, she has sang millions of solos and all that. And then recently I took music classes with John Onoseliese, shout out to him. And I took an exam, a diploma, a basic
Graded
school
exam.
Yes, a graded exam, grade 5 practical exam in the Muson School of Music, and I got a distinction. Yay! Thanks to John and thanks to Debbie for inspiring me to take that exam. I was invited to sing at their basic school concerts because I got a distinction, and that was just last year.
Yes.
And so here we are, Bellaria, and that's my music journey.
Okay.
Okay, so what is Bellaria all about? So Bellaria is a music business that is centered, I think we've mentioned this in the introduction, but yes, Bellaria is a music business. It contains a podcast, which is of vibes and music that we're doing now. It's also, the podcast is going to be all about music analysis, classical music or the lack thereof, shortcomings of music in Nigeria. And then Bellaria is also going to include a news blog, a music agency for classical musicians, marketing of musicians and singers, concerts and concert planning, and overall promotion of classical music in Nigeria. Please forgive my local classical pronunciation.
Nigerian accent.
I beg Abio is Nigerian accent. So we're also going to talk about elitism and toxicity in the classical music space.
Yes. So
that brings us to we're debating if we should mention this. So let's just okay, let's mention it.
So
this podcast is yet to start. But they are already blocking us on Instagram.
So we are on Instagram at Bellaria Musicals.
Yes,
and
please follow us.
We followed some people we thought will be inspired, people that have been inspiring to us so far. And one of these people blocked us.
So let's make excuses for them. I'm using them so I don't say the gender of the person. So maybe they thought it was just a spam site. Or maybe they were just protecting their space.
You and blocked us. Me, I'm sure.
Okay, but whatever the case is, we move.
We move regardless.
We move. Oh. If you want to hear more, please tune in.
Subscribe to this podcast. Please kindly subscribe. Share with your friends. Share with people that you know love music. There will be more coming up.
We also have other stuff to talk about, but don't worry. When you tune in, you would.
Bye.
Are you ready?